Hey, what's happening, everybody? Jay Shockblast here, and everybody talked about wanting to see a video of what I thought were 10 of the worst characters in Marvel superhero, Lego Marvel superheroes. And the first thing I want to say is, coming up with a list of 10 quote unquote worst characters was pretty tough, tougher than I thought it would be. Because I don't really know that there are a top 10, worst characters in the game. So the first thing that I wanted to say I did was I completely ignored characters that I understood had certain purpose in the game. So people like Damage Control and, Doombots, stuff like that, the kind of filler characters, symbiote scientists, stuff like that. I didn't count those because those have a place in the game. It makes sense. I understand why they're here. Why they're here. They sort of need to be. I need to turn off my phone. So I left those kind of as is. That they make sense. The other characters that I also did not count would be, Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane Watson, Aunt May, J. Jonah Jameson, Pepper Potts, Maria Hill, Agent Coulson. Those characters also, I understand why they're in the game. A lot of it has to do with the fact that, TT Games has this license with Marvel, and Marvel really wants to push, a lot of the movies in this game and in pretty much everything else. So it does make sense that all these characters are in the game. So some of these are kind of a stretch. I would say the top 6 or so are definitely ones that I found. I think disappointing is more what I would call it rather than the worst characters in the game. And the first one is definitely just me raging about the character in particular. So, without any further ado, I'm going to just go ahead and get started. And number 10 on my list, and this is definitely a stretch, and this is definitely me just kind of complaining about the character and not the actual way he works in the game. Superior Spider-Man. So, Superior Spider-Man in general is not necessarily a bad character in this game. He's actually fairly cool. I just really am sick of the Superior Spider-Man character in general. Just because, Spider-Man's Peter Parker, okay? The storyline, ending the Amazing Spider-Man, all of that was good enough. I get it. I understand why they did it. I'm okay with all that, but like at this point we get it enough. You know,
It's pretty small.
just ready for Peter Parker to come back. I'm not really a fan of the book. I read it for a while in spite, which I feel like most people do. I don't, it's possible that there are people that really enjoy the book, but at this point, I've even lost interest in reading it out of spite. It's dumb. I just don't enjoy it. I think the only part of it that was moderately interesting was when Peter Parker was still kind of creeping up in the consciousness of the Spider-Man body. Um, Now that he's been, for the time being, snuffed out, it's like not even interesting to me anymore. So that's the only reason I put him here as number 10, because there's really not enough characters to really say, hey, this is a bad character or whatever, which is actually a testament to TT Games. So my complaint is more about Superior Spider-Man than it is the fact that there is a Superior Spider-Man in the game. Going to the stretching it department is Doctor Doom at number 9. Now, don't get me wrong, Doctor Doom's okay. You know, I just feel like there was some missed opportunity with Doctor Doom. Mostly in the fact that he does a double jump when you have him jump. And I just feel like he should float kind of like Magneto does. And if he did that, I would have probably used him much more. Because Doctor Doom is usually a badass. I just really wish he kind of floated like Magneto does. And I know he's done stuff like that in the comics. So I don't think that would have been really out of line or out of character for him to do that. So number 9 for me would be Doctor Doom. Number 8 is another one that's kind of a stretch. I don't really have a good reason to not like, Union Jack in this game. I just don't understand why Union Jack is in this game. There's a lot of other characters that I felt like really had a better opportunity to represent well in the game. And I mean, I get it if there's Captain Britain in the game. I get it and everything that he's probably here as part of the British contingent, have a European character along with Captain Britain. Captain Britain makes a little bit of sense in that he's probably the most powerful of the group. I just don't know what Union Jack really does that, like, there's no story purpose to him. All he does is shoot a gun. He doesn't really serve any purpose to me. So I just feel like, there's a lot of characters that are not in this game that I'm not going to really get into because I definitely have another video planned for that. But there's a lot of characters that are not in this game. For him to be one of the ones that made it is just kind of a little strange to me. So number 7 on my list is more of a disappointment than it is, this being a bad character. It's the Sentinel. So the Sentinel's not, like, terrible. He shoots these plasma projectiles, and, he shoots out the laser from his face. So all of that's really cool. But a lot like Doctor Doom, I don't understand why he doesn't at least, float. Kind of like Hulkbuster does. The Sentinels, whenever they arrive, they fly in. So, I mean, a Sentinel can fly. And I'm not even necessarily suggesting that, the Sentinel should outright fly. Even though that kind of makes a lot of sense that it would. But, for him not to... for him to only have a double jump, it seems like it was a little short-sighted. It seems like somebody missed something. So that's why I would definitely have him on this list, and why he's at number 7 as a bit of a disappointment more than he is a bad character. Just, again, I felt like they could have done better with him. Another one that could have been done better, and I know a lot of people have picked up on this, is Emma Frost. So Emma Frost is pretty cool. You can press B and she changes into her diamond form, which is great and everything, except it really doesn't do anything. Her, if you look up at the top, her, hearts don't turn like the gray color or anything. So I haven't used her in the level. It is possible that she's tougher when she has the diamond form on, but I feel like unless they did that, then that's just an extra, missed opportunity. So I feel like, with this character, they could have done a lot of mind control stuff. They could have had her, instead of being able to punch people, she could have, controlled the minds of other characters and had them break themselves or, do anything like that. She doesn't, at any of the kind of telepathy locations. She doesn't do anything like that. So I thought Emma Frost could have been a lot better. You've got characters that change form by holding down Y. They could have put that on, instead of using the B and circle button, they could have made her diamond form. The same thing that you would do to change Hulk to Bruce Banner or Kirk Connors to the Lizard. So, again, just one of those little things where a little bit more attention to detail would have been nice, and they could have made Emma Frost, who happens to be one of the more popular characters in Marvel Comics. They could have made her a little bit better. So, coming in at number 5, again, this is a little bit of a stretch in a way. Howard the Duck. So, there's a lot of novelty to having Howard the Duck in the game, and there is some usefulness to him having the rocket launcher. That's not really a bad thing. Excuse me. Once you get past the novelty, though, of Howard the Duck being in this game, it's like, really, why? I've got a list right now of about 14 other characters that are fairly important and popular in the Marvel Universe, that I feel like are missing from this game. And Howard the Duck is in this game, along with some other pretty poor choices that really serve no purpose. Now, unless they're going to make a remake of that Howard the Duck movie from the 80s, I don't know why you put Howard the Duck in this game, but they don't, I guess, pay me enough to know that. So number 4 is a character who I don't understand. As far as doing what he's supposed to do, I guess he's okay. But this is Mastermind. He's kind of like a boring looking character. So, aesthetically, there's nothing really that I enjoy about the character. When you hold down B and you hold down X, which would be square and circle, for you PlayStation people, he doesn't really do anything. He doesn't go invisible or anything like that. And he just kind of laughs here. In the level, he has some telepathy or some mind control, stuff like that. And he doesn't even do that right now. You can see that he does kind of, alter himself when he's standing still, but, that's a cool, animation and everything. But what does it really do? Like, what is that doing as a character? I felt like it's not a really popular character. He wasn't in any of the Iron Man movies. I just feel like they could have... this is a guy they could have cut very, very quickly, very easily. There are other mind control characters that they could have used at his spot in the story. I just really don't feel like he adds much to this game at all. But that's just me. So, number 3 is probably going to upset some people. This is 100% personal preference. The character is just a character that has been coming up in a lot of stuff lately, and I get why. I get, the irony of the character. I get that she's cute and cuddly and blah, blah, blah. And I get that she's one of the few characters that glide, but Squirrel Girl just drives me absolutely nuts. No pun intended. I don't get Squirrel Girl. I mean, she's a girl that can talk to squirrels, and apparently can throw them. I don't think TT did a bad job in making the character. I think all the stuff that she does is good enough. I just don't understand the fascination with Squirrel Girl. She's not even that cute. Um, you know, again, I totally don't begrudge TT for putting her in the game, but if I'm going to make a video and call it, the top 10 worst or disappointing or whatever you want to call it characters in this game, there's no doubt that the fact that, she's in this game and some of the characters that are not in the game are not in the game is definitely something that kind of grinds my gears a little bit. So in that vein, there's one that actually is far more annoying, and it's this one right here, Herbie. So, don't get me wrong, Herbie looks cool. Herbie,
No, look what the kids
has some
doing.
cool animations, but really, we need this as a playable character. I guess this is where it goes back to the fact that it is definitely a game, generated towards kids. Squirrel Girl has some appeal towards kids, as does this little robot Herbie. So in that regard, I totally understand, but at the same time, when I look at this list, and Herbie is one that really has always stood out like a sore thumb as a character that I would have loved to have seen so many other people. And again, I'm not getting into those people because that's going to be a different video. So Herbie would be number 2 on my list. Now, the last character is absolutely, unequivocally, 100% the worst character in this game. Not just the worst character, but not just the most disappointing character, but probably the character on the list that I would say is the worst. A character that they didn't just get wrong.
Oh my god.
We did not want or need this character to be playable in the game, and that is right. I am talking about Liberty. So yeah, Liberty. So apparently we wanted to have a Statue of Liberty stand here and wink at people. All she does is wave her club. She does nothing else. Just walk really slow and wave her staff, her little, fire staff. So that is it. She's not even a big character. Her, animation is cute and everything the first time you see it, where she winks at you. And I understand the concept of her coming up in the game, but like I said, I've got like 14 or 15 other characters that I know people really love that could have been in this game instead of the Statue of Liberty. This picture I'm looking at right now with Herbie standing behind Liberty is as disappointing as it gets in this game. So yeah, it's almost breaking my heart to have to look at it. So, with that said, though, this is really a nitpicky video. I want that to be abundantly clear. I really feel like TT Games had a huge task with this cast of characters, and overall they had so many to choose from, and they picked a really good mix. And again, do I want Gwen Stacy or Aunt May or Mary Jane Watson or Pepper Potts or Maria Hill or Agent Coulson, any of those characters, J. Jonah Jameson especially? No, I don't want those characters in the game. I understand why they had to be in the game. That's fine. And then again, with all the filler characters, I don't count those. I don't really feel like... I feel like if I made a video that had, all the people that I mentioned, along with symbiote scientist and, damage control and aim soldier and, stuff like that, I feel like that would have been a giant cop-out. So I took a stand. I picked 10 characters that are either disappointing or just flat out I don't like, or I wish somebody else was in the game in their place. So I hope everybody enjoyed. I've definitely got a couple other things planned for Marvel superheroes. You guys keep watching the videos, so I don't want to abandon the game. I just want to say real quick, I am at 91.2%, and that is it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to agree or disagree. These are just some of the characters that not my cup of tea. So without any further ado, appreciate you guys all for watching. Appreciate you all in general. Feel free to like and subscribe. I'm also on Twitter, where I mostly bitch about sports and video games. You can follow me there, Jay Shockblast. And we will catch everyone later. Peace.